What's up guys, John back here with another review, and today we're going to be looking at which portable power station is the best for you. So on the table right here, we have four main portable power station sizes, anywhere from little portable power banks like these ones right here, you just easily throw into your pocket or your backpack, all the way up to 600 watt inverters, which is power station. This one right here is a 300 watt inverter, and then we do have some DC power stations right here as well, and of course, all the way to the bigger lines, which are over 1,000 watts of power. So we're gonna individually go through which ones are best for you, which ones suit you, whatever you're trying to do the most. And I'm just gonna help you figure out which company is the best option for you and which company offers the most for the money. So in this video, we're gonna see like what can you power and use a 300 watt inverter power station for, compared to like a 600 watt inverter power station. Is there really a big difference between a 600 watt and a 300 watt inverter? I know the numbers are 300 more, but in real world, does it really make a difference to spend the extra money and to have 300 watts more of power with the same amount of battery capacity? So that's one thing you got to really consider. And then I'm gonna also go into like these little power banks right here, which these are perfect if you just need to charge your phone up real quick, maybe charge like your laptop halfway. And of course you got the bigger ones, which are up here, and these can do way more because they can put way more power out, and they are pushing almost as much capacity as something of this size. So I'm gonna show you guys which ones will be the best and which suits the best, scenarios. And of course, you got the bigger ones down here that are more aimed towards running appliances in your home during a blackout. You have over a kilowatt of power, you have 1500 watt inverters, 1200 watt inverter, also the AC70 has a 1000 watt inverter. So those are more gonna be along the lines of running appliances in your home. And then at the very end of the video, I'll get into a whole home backup solution that is the cheapest, one of the cheapest on the markets, that I've been testing personally for over a year and a half, and you cannot go wrong with it. Now, these 300 watt and 600 watt power stations definitely have their place. Now, as you can tell in the B-roll footage, this power station right here can power a DC fridge, it can power a laptop, it can recharge your phones. I mean, it could power a fan, even a DC fan for a long time. So they definitely have a place. They're very portable, can throw them in a backpack for the most part, and you can use them for a quick camping trip. And same with the 600 watt inverters, which I'm not the biggest fan of 600 watt inverter power stations, especially these micro power stations, just because if you really maximize that 600 watt inverter, you can barely run it for 20-30 minutes at most, and it's very pointless at that point, unless you were in a real crucial situation where you had to have a 550 watt appliance powered for a really short period of time. But outside of that, I mean, they're really kind of useless in my point of view. So don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future content videos like this. So all these power stations on this table are for sure Life PO4, and they all have 3,000 plus charge cycles till 80%. And that's the main characteristics when you're looking at a portable power station. It has to be Life PO4, not that other battery technology that's old and outdated now. They also have to offer quick charging. So most of these, if not all of them, have a quick charge port where it just uses a standard plug, a wall plug, like this plug right here, just has a standard wall plug to this type of adapter, which is a common household plug that they use on a lot of computers and other things. And they all have to come equipped with that because nobody wants to wait 5 hours for their power station to charge. And that's one of the main features that you have to have with these portable power stations if you plan on using them daily, and if you plan on using them quickly to go camping and need to recharge it fastly. All these power stations on this table do offer solar input. They do it a little bit differently. Most of them are XT60 adaptation ports, which are this right here, just a standard XT60 port. And it's the most common solar charging port, and it's the best one in my opinion. You have the Oupes that has the Anderson connection, which is fine, especially because this unit is such a low voltage power station. For solar, it doesn't really matter at that point, but you want to stick with power stations that have XT60 because it's the most common, it's some of the most efficient plug you can actually use for solar input, and it's just better to have on universal systems. So if you have this portable power station, you can use the same plug to charge that one as you can this one, and same with that one to this one. You know, you want to have a plug that can be used in many different power stations and keeps it a lot more streamlined. One of the most important features when you're looking to buy a portable power station, especially if you plan on using it, you know, every day for your, you know, UPS backup for your computer or for your router, whatever, Wi-Fi, you know, you need to make sure it does come equipped with UPS. And that's the good thing about all these new power stations. They all come with it. They all do it a little bit differently though. So you got most of these units on here that will charge it to 100% and keep it pretty much at 99, 100% the whole entire time. And that's not one of the best ways in 2026. You want to get a power station like the Bluetti right here, or actually like the Pecron or the Ecoflow River 3. Those you can actually set in the app to have a set charge rate, so you don't have to make sure, or so you can make sure it never hits that 100% mark. And if it stays as a UPS for months and months and months, it's not going to burn out the Life PO4 batteries like it would if you kept it at 100% constantly for months and months and months. So UPS is one of the most important features to get and look at when you're actually buying one of these power stations. In 2026, they're all about 20 milliseconds or less, so you're not going to get one that's better really than the other. So, and of course, another main feature that you got to have in 2026 is pass-through charging. So what does that mean? Basically, it's when you have one of these units plugged in from their plug-in source, like the Pecron right up here, plug it in right here. So while it's plugged in, you can actually charge other devices and the unit will pass the power through. So if you have it set to 300 watts of charge speed and then you're powering a 150 watt unit, you can make sure that it puts the 300 in and then 150 passes through the unit to charge whatever or run whatever it's actually plugged into. So pass-through charging is an absolute must in 2026. All right, so now we're gonna get into the more mid-level, higher end power stations that in my opinion are over 1,000 watt inverter with over 12 to 1,500 watt hours of battery capacity, which is gonna be these three down here. And of course the AC70 is a 1,000 watt inverter, but it only has a 768 watt hour battery pack. But these are gonna be your heavy hitters. Now, if you're trying to run a fridge in an outage, these are gonna be the power stations you go to. If you're trying to go camping and you wanna run this Keurig coffee maker right here, this is gonna be the power station to go with because they have 1,500 watt inverters and they can power most of your appliances that are, you know, looking to like, you know, make coffee or hot plates or whatever you're trying to do, mainly for camping. And they're very portable. They all weigh under 35 pounds, so they're very, very one-handed portable. And the nice thing is, like, when you're camping, you have enough capacity to last you for I would say a solid weekend, and you could easily brew many cups of coffee. You could also run a fan for a very long time. You could power so many large devices that you normally could not do with these smaller power stations. So that's why, like, you know, I get to that point where I look at the price tags of all these, and I just made a review video actually in regards to this unit against this unit. And in you know, the grand scheme of things, you might think like that's a stupid review, but it's not, because for $100 roughly more, you can get almost double the capacity. You can get 400 watts more for your AC inverter, and it's just a way more practical unit that you can take and have almost endless power. More solar, more AC output. These are good for just quick phone charges and your tablet charges. That's really it. You can run a little DC fan, but nothing more than that. But if you're really trying to get to the heavy hitters, that's where you're gonna get into the 1,000+ watt battery packs, you know, 1,000 watt inverters, and that's gonna be the three down here. In my opinion, everyone should start off with something of this magnitude. I would 100% say skip, you know, the smaller units and go straight to one of these units, because for usually $100 to $150 more, you get way more capacity, you get expandability options, you get way more solar input, you get way bigger AC inverter, you're not limited to what you can and cannot run. And then on top of that, you can use these at a job site to power, you know, big, you know, motorized tools that take a lot of power to go. That's where you really can't go wrong with the midsize. And, you know, obviously they do make 2,000 watt hour, you know, portable power stations. That's pretty much the same thing, just a bigger battery in those. Some of them do have a bigger inverter, you know, 2,400 watts, which you get to that point where it's kind of the same thing as like this Bluetti Elite 30. Once you have a 2,400 watt inverter, 2 kilowatts is not enough power. You need, you know, 4 or 6 kilowatts to run 2,400 watts, enough, you know, consistency time-wise to be able to make it worth it. These are more on the stable level, I would say. When you're talking, you know, 1,200 watt inverters, 1,500 watt inverters, then it's a lot more reasonable to have a 1 kilowatt or a 1.5 kilowatt battery pack, because it's not drawing that much power, but on the same end, you could run a lot of appliances with 1500 watts. So that's gonna be your mid lines right here. And let's get into the home backup solution real quick, just to end this video out. Just a quick bonus, and these aren't really power stations, but they are little DC power stations. And as you can see on these, they are only USB-Cs and USB-As. And some of them do have different, DC outputs, like your barrel ports and stuff like that. But majority of these are all gonna be USB-Cs and USB-As. And these are nice because they are perfect for charging your phone, adding a little bit more power to your laptop and your tablet, because these actually have a lot bigger battery in them than most of your little DC power bricks like this that are all usually about 99 watt hours. These ones are getting into the 150, 250 range, so you can power a lot of things with one of these for a very long time. You can even power a DC fridge with one of these for a very long time. And these are perfect because they're light, they have their little handles on the top. You can literally throw it into the bag. It takes 2 seconds to pick one of these up and charge it. Usually they charge quickly within, an hour. They charge very fast actually. This one actually charges at 140 watts. I know it's kind of hard to tell with the flash, but you're getting 140 watts charging from this unit right here. And same with this one, you get 140 watts in and out as well too. So, very quick charging. And as you can see on there, turn the flash off, you get a nice little light up here. So in a tent, these are perfect. I mean, you can light up a whole entire tent with this. You could power your actual DC fridge, your DC fan, your phones, everything for many, many hours. So just a quick little bonus on there, because these are perfect little power stations and they're relatively cheap. So make sure you look into a couple of these on top of having your power station units, so you can have a lot of different choices. And then of course you have your whole home backup solutions. So this is the Dapson DBS 3500, and right in front of it I have 2 other power stations, the AC70 and the Jackery Explorer. And look at the size difference. The expansion battery is the one at the bottom, the main unit's the one at the top. And you can clearly tell the difference between portable power and home backup solution. Now this unit has to have one of these because it does weigh so much. To actually hold and carry is almost impossible. So you have to roll this, and hence this actual handle right here, along with the wheels on the side. So it has to have wheels to actually move this thing, because they each weigh about 90 pounds to 100 pounds. So you're not easily moving these around. And that's why these are more for home backup. And the big difference on these is you get your 30 amp right here. So you got your regular outlets, and then you got your 30 amp outlet. And this is where you're gonna use to actually power a lot more. You can actually hook this up to your home as a backup solution for a transfer switch. And all these other power stations that we went over today, none of them have it. So that's the big separating factor to home backup and actually being able to power your house in a power outage, is having that 30 amp right there. And without that, it's almost useless, to be honest. So now this unit, I do have a transfer switch set up for it, and I can hook it directly into my house, and this unit can power my critical loads for many, many hours. And it does have over 2,000 watts of solar connected to it. So it's getting a good amount of power as it's feeding power into my house and my critical loads. But you just can see the difference between portable power and home backup power. So let's get into final thoughts now. So now after seeing all these units and having them all compared, you can see, the average watt hour that they consist of, how many watts the inverter can actually pull. Are they portable like this little Jackery? Are they a little bit heavier but still portable? Are they gonna be more of a weekend getaway tool opposed to actually a home backup tool? When you talk about your little 300 watt inverters like this Jackery right here, this is 100% a little portable power station that you take camping with you, and it can power your phone. You saw it power the DC fridge, and it can power a fan, really light loads, and it could do it very well actually, and it's perfect for what you're getting. Now, is Jackery a little overpriced? Yeah, they are, because this unit right here is pretty expensive. You're looking at about $250 for this unit, which is on the expensive side. And when you compare it to like these bigger units down here, that for $150 more can power way more, can produce a lot more, capacity with solar and everything like that, it's really a no-brainer. These do have their places in this, market, I would say, but it's just really a real small part, I think, and you just get so much more value for your buck when you go with the bigger units. And then when you go with the budget units like the Oupes, the Pecron, the Dapson, Bluetti is starting to get a little bit cheaper with their products, so that's kind of a good thing. But when you're still paying over 230 bucks for one of these units, and for another $100, you can buy a fully loaded 1500 watt inverter 1 kilowatt battery from Pecron, it's like a no-brainer, you know? And I just think at the end of the day, you know, it's really ultimately up to you, but in 2026, these are all good power stations. They all have good features. They all will do what they're designed to do, but it's gonna be how long do you want it to do what it's designed to do. That's what it really comes down to. The more capacity equals more runtime. The bigger inverter means less runtime if it doesn't have as much capacity. So you always wanna stick with the midlines, just like to power your fridge, your smaller appliances, you know, cooking a hot, you know, using it to cook a hot plate when you're camping. That's where these really, I think, strive the best in 2026. And in my opinion, you know, you just really are losing so much value when you jump down into a smaller little power station like this. And I don't know, you know, don't be scared of these bigger ones. They're just the same, they're just a little bit bigger, that's it, you know? They just offer so many more features, and it comes down to, you know, do you want Wi-Fi, do you want Bluetooth? Because all these are Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capable, you know, so that's a new, not really a new feature, but it's really common, I should say, in these last couple years. So I think, you know, for portable, it's gonna come down to these three down here, and anything in this watt hour class with the inverter class. And then if you want home backup, the Dapson DBS 3500 that I just showed, it is one of the best deals on the market. It has semi-solid state, you know, battery cell technology, and you get so much power and so much battery capacity for so cheap. So, you know, that's all I have for you guys on this one. I appreciate everyone for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.